It's time for the Jim and Terry Show.
Some moments, love, so close to bliss, I want them to last forever, but they don't. Fleeting moments I try to cling to, and I want them, I want them to gather round like a stitch in a pocket, reinforcing my beliefs that you're always there, always there, always there. Love is so hard, so easy to enter, so tough to realize. I want to make it last forever. These fleeting moments I try to cling to, and I want them, I want them to gather round like a stitch in a pocket, reinforcing my beliefs.
The Jim and Terry Show, coming to you from the Hobbit Hole Studio in downtown Bobcaygeon, with an empty seat to my right. Empty because my good friend Jim is under the weather. Cheers, my friend Jim. Here's a coffee. I do love me a dark roast. And again, that's slurping from my mug. A present, this mug. This one from my daughter. I switch mugs every once in a while, although I do have favorites. My grandpa mug, mailed to my wife and I upon notification that my older daughter was expecting. What a treat to get that in the mail, and of course the profound significance of being notified that you're going to be a grandpa. Wow, that moment is indelibly etched in my being. I think I have a vinyl press going on in my mind where memories are etched into this vinyl. I hope I don't skip tracks as I get older and I can get to rewind and play through. Maybe I'll do the little stuttering, you know, that little DJ style. Anyway, there you go. Memories is about that song. That was just a Terry production, really, with Keith, I think, supplying some guitars on that. But most of that stuff is just a muse about life and about moments of bliss and wanting those to be gathered. And the image I used for that, a photo I found on, I believe it was, and I'm going to try to zoom in on it, unsplash.com, where you can get free photos for use in stuff like this. So I tag an album art with each song. And this one, the song is called Always There. And it is part of our Wigmore Allen Gibbons, though it is mainly me and myself and Keith on this one. And mostly that being my lyrics, my voice, and my musings. Wondering about bliss and can you gather them? Now get back to the image. The image is of a pair of overalls with a pocket right at the top of the overalls where the two straps clasp. There's a pocket in the middle, a chest pocket. And there are dried flowers in this person's chest pocket. And I just thought that was a nice image of gathering moments of bliss. Can they be gathered? That's really a question. Can you gather them and keep them so that they'll always be there, always there? And are those moments of bliss based on beliefs about the divine, about God, about angels, about things good or not good? Or is it based upon people, our dependence, our ecstatic moments of bliss? You know, when you first get your first kiss, your first ecstatic moment of being in a dating relationship, and then you're thinking of getting serious in that relationship, and there's still those moments of bliss where you just can't wait to either speak on the phone, where you can't wait to get together, where you can't wait to meet in person. Bliss. Is it divine or is it human? And can you gather those moments like my vinyl press in my brain that allows me to replay and glitch it back and make it a modern interpretation of bliss? I don't know. Anyway, that's all there in that song. Simple musings of what is bliss and can you keep it, like a stitch in a pocket, reinforcing my beliefs that you're always there. Is it divine? Are you musing about the divine being always present, everlasting? Or have we shifted slightly to say, I'm not sure about that, and maybe it's about people? Will we always be there? Will the people we learn to count on in our lives always be there? Well, if you're at this age and stage that I am representing, my age group, my demographics, my post-retirement crowd, are we sort of hoping that the experiences that we've had of people being reliable in our lives are maybe passing on? Passing of the great generation, those World War II vets, for whom we claim freedom, the peace and tranquility of the post-war period. Was it really an illusion that we've had peace and tranquility since 1945? I mean, we could go on to the Korean War in the 1950s, severely fought, lots of memorials to that demographic of soldiers who served, and Canadians served there too. Perhaps not officially. I don't think they served as they did in Vietnam as a separate contingent. Soldiers could volunteer individually, but was there peace since 1945, or was it all just an illusion while Syria gets bombed, while the terrorism in the Middle East, while Kim Jong-un goes crazy with his ballistic nuclear program, while China makes its Silk Road into a more militant version of something? Sounds nice and warm and cuddly with a Silk Road, but really, is it more about military presence and expansion? I don't know. So anyway, how did we get to that? I don't know. My mind works in curious, I was going to say mysterious ways, but I think it's just curiosity that leads me into all sorts of connections. Always There was the opening song, and just musing upon what is always there. Can we count on people? Can we count on politics? Can we count on people to make the right choice in politics? Is there a right and wrong choice? Or is there a right and more right, or right and less right? Or maybe less right is really left or center? What is the political spectrum? And can we count on it to be always the same? Personally, I don't think we can. The political spectrum seems to be a bit changeable these days. And what is right, or what used to be right in the days of, perhaps in Canada, it would be Joe Clark. Perhaps we've moved from the idea of centrist red Tories to farther right. How far right? Well, how far do you want to go right? Well, to go right when you're looking at a map of Canada and you're sitting in Ontario, to go right is to go to the East Coast. But really, to go right politically, you need to go west and look to Alberta and perhaps even Saskatchewan and ask, how far right do they want to go? Now, don't get me started on the left versus right. I'm all for progressive policies. And my overriding belief is that a rising tide floats all boats. So policies that are good for everyone, or as many people as we can include, within financial constraints, and that is my small homage to fiscal conservatism, which my good friend Jim represents. Balance your books. Don't go into too much debt. Unless, of course, you're hit by a global pandemic that's once in a century, in which case, even the Auditor General for Canada said, there might have been some waste in there, but what are you going to do when you got a global pandemic? Unless, of course, you deny that there is a pandemic, or you deny that there is any efficacy to vaccines or mask wearing or social distance or any other mitigation strategy. In that case, there is no argument for you. I just found it interesting that the Auditor General's report on the budget of the Liberal government in Canada did not attack it as we have heard it attacked by Conservatives, but it was an understanding that there was some waste, yes, and it understood the context. Context. Context is everything, I think. Anyway, there's so much to discuss. How about going to my favorite little topic on the political left versus right spectrum analysis? How about more top secret documents found in a storage compartment? What? A rental storage unit outside of Mar-a-Lago? What? More documents? If it was anyone else, yes, you've heard that argument. If it was anyone but Trump, they would have been locked up on first instance of the offense. It's like when you get a fine, you're levied that fine right away. There's no escaping it. It comes to you. You have to do your time for your, what, crime? Did you say crime, Trump, and crime in the same breath? I've always said it. The Jim and Terry Show, waxing eloquent on all kinds of things. Bye-bye for now.